Now on CoastTV News.
We have some seriously cold conditions beginning to creep our way, and the Arctic air that's on the way is going to be something that we really need to talk about.
I'll give you a live look at the roads as we deal with cold temperatures and icy conditions.
Transition beginning at noon. We get you ready for Donald Trump's return to the White House with the inauguration of our 47th president.
There he goes! Barkley gonna ring the bell again! Touchdown, Philadelphia!
Sensational Saquon, the big game by number 26 that sends the Eagles to the NFC Championship game.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And it is Monday, January 20th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Paige Marley. Thank you for being up with us during our 5 o'clock hour.
Paige, we got a lot going on
Right.
today, but first, big congrats to you, and all the Washington fans for advancing to the NFC Championship game. You get the Eagles.
Yes, we do, and I'm fine with that. It's kind of fun. It's like a sibling rivalry. You know what I mean? It's like all the people I work with, our producer Alyssa. We get to talk a little smack this week. It's fun.
Yeah,
I'm cool with it.
There's a lot of fans on both sides. This is great for Delmarva and the fan base.
I do feel bad for the Ravens fans. It would have been nice to have all three Delmarva teams, but what can you do?
I'm a Browns fan, so I can't join you in that, but I do see you wearing your purple there in solidarity.
I am. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's for you. It's for the Ravens fans. Yeah, sure, definitely. You know who else is wearing purple?
I saw that.
And is not Bob,
Right.
although we miss Bob.
Yeah.
Is
No, this is a treat, everybody.
This is Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams is in for Bob today. Not Bob, good morning. Paul, good morning. Whoa.
I feel like Eddie Kane Jr. Nights like this, I wish that raindrops wouldn't fall. Okay, listen, what else is going to fall is actually the temperatures in a major way. We're going to have fun this morning, obviously, but there's something I got to kind of get a little serious about something. We have the kind of cold that's going to be in place that you got to be mindful of not being outside for an extended period of time without being cognizant of how much time you're spending. I mean, right now, we're at 23 degrees in Milton, 22 Redden, 24 Del Mar, as well as Seaford, but we have winter weather advisories well to our north, but also you have to keep in mind, we are staying very clear for right now. We have a pocket of very Arctic air that's going to begin to sweep in on top of us, and it's going to be frigid. In fact, we're looking for bitterly cold conditions for the next couple of days in a row. Now, starts a little bit today, but it really kicks in for Tuesday, Wednesday, going into Thursday, where the wind chill factor is likely to fall well below zero. Now, we're going to talk more and elaborate more on that coming up during our main weathercast, but until then, back to my buddies.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Now, we've had that big temperature swing over the past 24 hours with the warmer temperatures over the weekend causing a lot of snow to melt. Now the big concern is everything that melted is freezing over.
Yeah, CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber's live right now in our First Alert Weather Jeep. Elisa, how are the conditions out there on Coastal Highway?
Good morning, Matt and Paige. Yes, this weekend it felt like springtime in comparison to the temperatures we have been experiencing. When I woke up this morning and saw it was 20 degrees again, I was like, oh yes, it's winter time. But right now, we are driving on Coastal Highway headed towards Rehoboth Beach. The conditions on the road are okay right now. We are seeing some black ice on the sides of the road in some parking lots. As we mentioned, things were melting over the weekend and then they all froze over as a result of last night's temperatures and this morning. Right now you can see there is a little bit of a white dusting on top of the roads, which is a little bit of that flurry that we experienced last night. And again, you just want to drive with caution. We are seeing ice. If you're walking as well, please be cautious. You can see some of that black ice reflecting in the lights on the highway. So if you are driving on back roads or roads that aren't lit very well, you want to go extra slow. And Matt and Paige will keep you updated on the road conditions throughout the entire show. Back to you.
Now from the live conditions on all roads to a live look at the Capitol in D.C., where at noon inside that building, Donald J. Trump will be inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States. And new this morning, we are just a few hours away from the nation's 60th presidential inauguration. For the first time in nearly 40 years, it'll take place inside because of that cold weather.
Yes, NBC's Alice Barr shows us the weekend was filled with inaugural parties, commemorations, and even a political rally.
Today, the nation's 45th president becomes the 47th in an inauguration day as unusual as President-elect Trump's path back to the White House.
My administration will take immediate and decisive action to confront every single problem America faces.
Only the second American president to win non-consecutive terms, he'll be sworn in inside the U.S. Capitol over concerns frigid cold temperatures would be dangerous for the hundreds of thousands of people who were expected on the National Mall. 20,000 will now watch on big screens in downtown D.C.'s Capital One Arena.
We won!
Where the president-elect rallied supporters on Sunday and plans to rejoin them after he's sworn in.
The curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline. We're going to stop the invasion of our borders. We're going to reclaim our wealth. And we are going to make America great again.
He also made a solemn visit to Arlington National Cemetery after a phone interview with NBC News outlining his day one plans on everything from saving TikTok to mass deportations of migrants, saying, quote, "We're going to start with the criminal element," and planning pardons for January 6 defendants, a stark reminder of how his last term in office ended, a second impeachment, 4 criminal cases with 1 trial ending in conviction, 2 attempted assassinations, and a resounding election victory later. President-elect Trump and the nation now preparing for his historic return to power. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we are just hours away as well from the end of Joe Biden's 1 term as president and the end of his political career. Here's what the day will look like for the first Delawarean ever elected president. Biden and the First Lady, Jill Biden, will be hosting a tea for Trump and the soon-to-be First Lady again, Melania, shortly after Trump is sworn in. The Bidens will bid farewell in a ceremonial departure for a short trip to Andrews Air Force Base. From there, no trip to Delaware. The Bidens are actually going to be heading out to California.
Moving on, and new this morning, check out these pictures. First responders helped get this car down from that electric pole. Now, according to the Georgetown Fire Company, this crash happened around 11 p.m. on Saturday. This is at the intersection of Zoar Road and Governor Stockley Road. The fire company says Delaware Cooperative helped in making sure everything was de-energized before crews could safely remove the car.
Officials will also continue to investigate after Georgetown EMS responded to a single car crash early Sunday at Gravel Hill and Shingle Point Road. Crews say this was the scene when they arrived. Milton Fire Department said 1 person was trapped inside that vehicle. Once they were taken out of the car, they were then transported to Bay Health Sussex campus for treatment.
Weather outside on Sunday was frightful, and if you were a Los Angeles Rams defensive player, the Eagles' Saquon Barkley was downright scary. 205 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. The Eagles hang on for a 28-22 win, and for the second time in 3 years, will play in the NFC Championship game. More on the Eagles' win and the Ravens' heartbreaking loss later on CoastTV News Today.
All right now, though, we're just getting started on CoastTV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, Festival Fires Up will tell you how organizers are preparing for the Fire and Ice Festival along the coast.
Also ahead, winter car care, what one expert says about how to keep your car on the road and about the repair shop with winter.
But first, today, the nation honors Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We'll tell you about an event right here on Delmarva that will serve the community on this day of service. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
Ride the wave of Delmarva's coastal charm with Coast Life. Explore local treasures, fresh trends, and unforgettable stories from our coastal communities. Join the adventure with Coast Life, weekdays at 4 on CoastTV.
I've needed a new left hip for about 15 years. The last 2 cortisone shots I got were bone on bone, and they didn't last 6 months. They lasted maybe a month. I was in a lot of pain. The staff at the Joint Surgery Center at Atlantic General Hospital were incredibly helpful. I was back to work 2 days short of a month, which I found amazing. You learn to trust people when you get good care.
Start your journey to relief today. Atlantic General Hospital, expert care every day.
It's been a tough year, but we couldn't be more thankful.
Yeah, with your help, we've raised more than $350,000 for Bless Our Children.
Hey everyone, Elisa Titus here, Director of Marketing for Shell Brothers. We'd like to thank all the businesses, individuals, groups, and associations who donated $1,000 or more to the Bless Our Children campaign this Christmas. It means so much to our local community.
Your generosity allowed us to give holiday funds to local charitable organizations on Delmarva. You can feel proud that you helped make the season brighter for many local families on the peninsula.
On behalf of WBOC, CoastTV, DSN, and Shell Brothers, a heartfelt thank you to you all. Bless Our Children is administered by the Draper Holdings Charitable Foundation.
Is your cookware scratched inside and an eyesore on the outside? Introducing Gotham Steel Hammered Cream Cookware. Forged with an authentic hammered design, engineered with extremely strong titanium and tri-coated with ultra non-stick ceramic. Gotham Steel features double the non-stick release. Now you can cook healthier without all the butter or oil. Get this huge 15-piece set for 4 payments of $49.99 with free shipping.
To order, call 1-800-513-6408.
We are expecting a tremendous amount of cold to kick in for us today. Now, we're going to kind of ease our way into it for today, and then we're going to hit rock bottom as far as the temperatures are concerned going into Tuesday and Wednesday. But the highs for today, for example, we're expecting a high of about 26 degrees in Lewis, 27 for the high in Georgetown, Millsboro, as well as Rehoboth. And we're not expecting it to change much from there. Cambridge will come in at about partly cloudy skies, and we are expecting the temperatures to hover at about 28 for the high, Easton 26, and then Vienna we're looking at about 29 degrees. And then to our south, Berlin coming in at 31 degrees along with Snow Hill and Pocomoke City as well as Chincoteague, and we'll round out at about 30 degrees for us actually for the expected high in Ocean City. So you notice that's the high for the day, not the low. What is it going? By lunchtime, hopefully, it'll feel like the teens. I mean, that's the kind of cold that we have in place for right now, and that's going to stick around. Then as we go into Tuesday morning, this is what we have in store. We're going to drop down to 2, Long Neck, 2 for the wind chill, Selbyville, as well as Fenwick Island, and into Berlin. So that gives us a preview as to what's on the horizon. We'll have more on your full forecast coming up in a moment. Till then, back to you.
All right, Paul. 2, some cold conditions indeed. Today, we honor civil rights activist, minister, Nobel Peace Prize recipient Martin Luther King Jr. MLK Day is intended as a day of service and a time to empower individuals and strengthen communities. A monument honoring King and his messages was dedicated in Washington, D.C. in 2011. It's the first on the National Mall to honor an African-American person. On its face is a collection of 14 memorable quotes from King and an inscription that reads, "Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope," which served as the basis for the monument's design.
And happening today, the Food Bank of Delaware and Milford is holding a Martin Luther King Jr. event at 10:30 this morning. Volunteers will be working to help pack meal kits. More than 8,000 children receive these meal kits each week. The kits are given out to more than 180 schools, child cares, and preschools every week.
Still ahead, Winter Car Care will tell you how to keep your car rolling as that snow and ice wreak havoc on the roads.
And as we take a look at the possibility of frostbite for the next few days in a row, we could possibly at a high level of that, particularly Wednesday. Going into Thursday, we'll have your full forecast coming up right after this.
Flashing lights. See them, and you know to go slow. Now we put that same technology in the palm of your hand with Lizard Flare. It's the high-tech safety flare with no flame. Lizard Flare uses 15 high-intensity LED strobes that can be seen nearly a mile away, and a powerful magnet that sticks to your car without exiting the vehicle. Look, flares are dangerous, but Lizard Flare won't let you down. A dead battery, an empty gas tank. With Lizard Flare, help is on the way. Lizard Flare Pro has an ultra-bright flashlight too.
Get your Lizard Flare for only $9.99, but wait, Lizard Flare may be discontinued. Due to rising costs, Lizard Flare is stopping manufacturing effective immediately. There is a strict limit of 2 vehicle packs per order. Call now.
This may be your last chance, so call 1-800-604-4696. That's 1-800-604-4696 or visit lizardflare.com now.
The hammers are smashing, the glasses are raising, and the fun times await at Bushel Sports Bar and Grill in Lewis. Explore our selection of off-season entrees and mouth-watering signature sandwiches that are sure to satisfy any palate. Relax and enjoy local craft brews and specialty cocktails watching your favorite sports team, or compete with your friends at some 8-ball. And indulge yourself with year-round all-you-can-eat crabs, served by the bucketful and seasoned to perfection. For good vibes with a friendly atmosphere, visit Bushel's on Coastal Highway today.
Taylor Swift, she is just at the peak of all her powers right now.
How has she been able to change the game with her fan base, with her music? That's a Taylor Swift effect.
The Swift Effect, Episode 1, Breaking the Mold.
Saturday, January 25th at noon on CoastTV. Sponsored locally on CoastTV by Pohanka Kia. Shop online at pohankakiamd.com.
Delmarva's hit music station, 102.5 WBOC.
Listen to Big 107.7, Delmarva's classic rock station.
Time is 5:15, and you are looking live at the waves hitting the shore in Ocean City. Always a pleasure to see you, Paul, though not really a pleasure with some of these cold temperatures you're going to tell us about.
Oh, so you're going to put that on me, right? That's my fault?
Just a little.
Okay. Just because Pensick decided to say that, tomorrow it will feel like -10 because of Pensick. So when you're walking outside and you're shivering, remember it. It's because of Matt. All right, let's take a look right now. He's like my big brother that I like to pick with. So we'll take a look right now. We're very much in the midst of an Arctic air blast that's overtaking the entire country. Now, this is really going to be the coldest amount of air that we've had, period, for the entire season. Here's a look at the temperatures right now. We are currently holding at about 23 degrees in a lot of locations. For example, Milton, Rehoboth Beach, as well as Redden, just 1 degree warmer than that if you want to call 24 degrees warm at all. In Seaford as well as Bethany Beach, and 27 right now in Ocean City. Now, we have concerns for it continuing to stay very clear for us throughout this part of the country with a couple of troughs in our neck of the woods. But the bottom line here and the big story, no matter how we dress it up, is going to be the bitterly cold air mass that will begin to drop our wind chill factor below zero, at zero or below that in some cases. High pressure staying in full control of it. So we're going to have a pretty looking day, but it's not going to be a pretty feeling kind of a day. That frigidness is going to be a big deal. For example, we are looking for the winds pushing primarily out of the northwest, with partly to mostly clear skies, 26 in Lewis, 27 in Seaford, as well as Georgetown, 28 in Laurel. Now, as we slide over towards Cambridge, we're looking for about 28 degrees there, 27 in Federalsburg, as well as Denton. And we are expecting a high of about 31 degrees in Berlin and Snow Hill, Chincoteague, Pocomoke City. What's going to feel like? Well, we're looking at teens by the afternoon, and then we go to single digits for Tuesday morning. And then it continues to stay that kind of cold even as we go into Wednesday. We're looking at single digits across the board, so to speak, 7 along the shore and 1 as you go over towards Seaford, Delmar. And believe it or not, this has gotten better because we initially had runs that were indicating that we would be well below zero, like 11, 12 degrees below zero, and we could still teeter somewhere in that range. But we're not going to get warm by any stretch of the imagination, no matter how you slice it. So there's concern about frostbite possibility. If you have exposed skin for over 30 minutes or so, you could actually run the risk of frostbite because that's the kind of cold we have in place Tuesday, but particularly for Wednesday is going to be the day in which we expect the best opportunity for some dangerous conditions to really complicate matters if you have to spend an extended period of time outside. So as we go into Monday, we're looking for the winds out of the northwest. Monday night, we drop down to the teens. Tuesday, we become a bit cloudy at the beginning of the day. And then we could see a passing flurry try to flare up, but nothing that's going to be significant for us. It's all about the cold, really, for the next few days in a row. And it's always about the cold. Here's a look at our inauguration day. We're looking at 23 degrees. It's going to feel like 9, the coldest since Reagan back in 1985. And so we'll keep a close eye on the potential of any kind of Tuesday night, Wednesday morning snowfall accumulation. We'll keep a close eye on that as a possibility. For the afternoon, we're looking at 27. For tonight, we'll drop back to 12 degrees. And then we're looking for Tuesday with a chance of a scattered shower at 23 degrees. Finally, here's a look at your extended forecast. We stay cold till we get to the weekend, bottom line.
All right, thank you, Paul. This does bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what is your biggest winter worry?
Ooh, let's see. 58% of you say it's the icy roads. That makes sense. 30% of you, your high heating bills. That is scary this time of year when you get those gas bills in, for sure. 10% of you, frozen pipes. Just 2% of you are worried about frostbite. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I would vote for, if all those are good choices.
Yeah.
I think I would go heating bills and frozen pipes. I'd have to decide if
Me
I
too.
would vote.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. All right, well, don't forget you can still vote. Go to coasttv.com/vote. You can also vote on our app.
Sounds good. These icy could do some harm to your car. Now, we've talked about winterizing your home in the past, but now we have some tips on winterizing your car. We looked into some of the best demonstrated practices. Meineke store manager John Repass says taking care of your car, that is a big part of staying safe on the roads.
Realistically, I think the most important part of staying safe during these cold winter seasons is doing your regularly scheduled maintenance. Here at Lewis Meineke and Milford Meineke.
And auto shops like that Meineke, they do offer inspections during routine maintenance to help you find the best way to take care of your car.
Still more to come on Coast TV News today. We're talking festivals firing up. We're talking about the first event to kick off for the Fire and Ice Festival on Delmarva. Don't go anywhere.
When winter comes around, prepare yourself by stocking up at Johnson's Seed and Feed. We carry wood pellets to keep you warm and cozy for those frosty nights, shovels and pet-safe salts to better equip you from the harsh snow. Let us help you find the right bird seeds, feeders, and baths to take care of your feathered friends this winter. Got pets? Don't forget that we carry dog and cat food from local to top brands. Come and stock up on your essentials at Johnson's Seed and Feed.
Enjoy 10 songs in a row. Sponsored by Pohanka Kia of Salisbury.
Mark your calendars for the Children's Beach House Gala presented by Jack Wingo Realtors and Jack Wingo Asset Management on February 8 in Dewey Beach. This black tie evening features an open bar, auctions, dinner, and a performance by Kristen and the Noise. Your support helps empowered children with special needs to build confidence, develop leadership skills, and thrive in a caring community. For more info, visit cbhinc.org/gala or call 302-841-9639. Sponsored by Coast TV.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Gamey Elliott in Salisbury today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Introducing Paisano, the authentic pizza oven by Granite Stone. Now make the world's most delicious pizza with real stone right in your own home. You simply set it and let it make golden, crispy, extra cheesy stone-baked pies in under 6 minutes. You can get your Paisano pizza oven for just 3 easy payments of $39.99. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free.
Call 1-800-608-5198 or order online at buypaisano.com.
Get the Coast TV First Alert weather app with live satellite and radar, severe weather alerts, and extended forecast. Download the free Coast TV First Alert weather app, sponsored by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Coast TV First Alert weather, your safety, our commitment.
Delmarva still dealing with the bird flu. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources is adding $30,000 in funding for quicker removal of those infected birds. In recent tests, Worcester and Dorchester County birds did test positive.
In Lewis, construction is set to begin this week at Canal Front Park after it began shortly in October. The city said because of manufacturing and shipping delays halted the process. The city also saying safety surfacing will be installed in mid to late March.
Delaware Governor Bethany Hall Long has ordered a new reuse study for the former Troop 7 site off of Route 1 in Lewis. The 7-acre property served the community for decades before being vacated in 2019 and later demolished. Hall Long emphasized the need to address growing demands for social and behavioral health services in eastern Sussex County. The study will include public input and explore options like social services.
The Fire and Ice Fest in the Bethany Beach area begins in 2 weeks, but one main event already kicked off over the weekend. The drink competition took place at Mango's. Local restaurants created custom cocktails. They're all book-themed. They will be available during Fire and Ice weekend. Coast TV's Madeline Overturf was one of the judges. The festival will take place January 31st through February 2nd.
That is a fun event.
Yes.
And speaking of fun, hey, we are joined again by Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. Paul, we're talking cold with a capital C.
And I would add a capital O, a capital L, and a capital D, because that's the kind of cold we're talking about. The kind of cold that's not playing around with it. It's very serious. I mean, if we're fortunate, okay, we'll warm to 26 degrees. That's courtesy of our gutter helmet camera. But you can see the wind chills throughout the day just staying in the single digits till we get to maybe midday or lunchtime, and then it'll maybe feel like 12. You can keep up with your forecast. We've updated it for you, by the way. It's sponsored by the law offices of Brockstedt, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. I want you to just kind of keep in mind how low we go and stay until we get to the weekend.
I'm paying attention. Don't you worry, Paul. All right, coming up after the break on Coast TV News today, car sparks concern in Georgetown, how crews helped safely resolve that dangerous situation.
Also, Matt Meyer, inaugural events, will tell you plans for the Delaware governor's-elect now that the ceremony has been moved indoors.
And Trump's victory with less than 7 hours until his inauguration. We're going to show you how Trump prepared over the weekend. We'll be right back.
For every season, every weather moment, stay ahead with the Coast TV First Alert Weather Phone. Just call 443-880-9100. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead and Dallas Federico.
Do you have stains in your carpet that won't come out? You need Horsepower Bullshot, the all-new hands-free carpet cleaner and deodorizer. Just spray, and the stain and odor go away. Got pet messes? This black light shows a urine stain is gone in just seconds. The advanced foam action formula penetrates deep to emulsify and neutralize stains and odors. It erases blood stains, makeup, juice, coffee, and more. For older and tougher stains, just give it a little rub and watch as Bullshot works its magic. Red wine spills? They're no problem for Bullshot. And watch up close as burnt bacon grease stains are obliterated right before your very eyes. Get Horsepower Bullshot for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get yours. And there's a strict limit of 3 at this low, low price. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-693-6210 or visit buybullshot.com. So call 1-800-693-6210 or visit buybullshot.com now.
Camp Rehoboth Chorus celebrates their 15th season performing on Broadway on Valentine's Day weekend. Featuring the best of Broadway show tunes and musicals, this concert features hits from Mamma Mia, Hair, Jersey Boys, and Hello Dolly. Performances are February 14th and 15th at 7 p.m. and Sunday matinee on February 16th at 3 p.m. at Epworth United Methodist Church in Rehoboth Beach. Tickets are $30 and $15 for students. Available at camprehoboth.org. Sponsored by Coast TV.
Get the Coast TV First Alert Weather app with live satellite and radar, severe weather alerts, and extended forecast. Download the free Coast TV First Alert Weather app, sponsored by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Now on Coast TV News.
We have some teeth-chattering cold on the way, so prepare to bundle up for the next few days.
I'll give you a live look at the roads as we deal with cold temperatures and icy conditions.
Weather reaction after a big storm to start the month, how Ocean City is dealing with this latest round of winter conditions.
Oh, you're going to have a lot of fun watching television.
Trump's return as we get you ready for the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States.
This is Coast TV News Today.
January 20th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Paige.
Good morning. It's a great morning, everyone. I'm Paige Marley.
Time is 5:20. Why do you say great?
I mean, the Commanders may have won over the weekend.
I thought that was going to be your reasoning on that because I'm going, it's cold, it's icy, it's a Monday.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, schools are off, government offices are closed, so not as many people on the road that normally would be.
Yeah, definitely. It's a busy day. I mean, we were talking earlier, like, what do we start with? There's inauguration, MLK, the weather, and of course, Eagles and Commanders fans are celebrating.
Right. Ravens fans a little sad this morning, but like all three teams were in action over the weekend.
Yeah, it was just a busy weekend, a lot to get to. So we're going to start with weather, though. That probably affects you the soonest. So we're going to bring in our chief meteorologist, Paul Williams. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, and good morning to you too as well, Matt. Matt and I just have a wonderful, loving, brotherly relationship that you're going to see just ooze on TV today. You hear him cackling in the background, right? So anyway, but what we will have to deal with today is actually the cold. The cold more so than the snow. And, you know, we weren't really emphasizing the snow in the first place, so that was more of a red herring. But the cold, that's the real deal for the next couple of days in a row. We're right now holding at 23 degrees in Rehoboth Beach, Milton, as well as Red, 1 degree even cooler than that in Seaford right now as we speak. And we're going to continue to have concerns for the cold. I mean, take a look at our clouds and radar. We're looking at limited amount of cloud cover for right now, and it's going to begin to clear out for us, generally speaking. And we're looking at much icier condition. That snow that caused the wonderful backdrop for all the football games. Well, now that snow is carried to the north and is no longer a primary concern. Our primary concern is the cold. Take a look at where we're talking about. We're talking about temperatures and the wind chill factor staying in single digits. That's where you see the pink numbers. The top is the actual temperature we're expecting, but this is what it's going to feel like here in the pink. So by lunchtime, dress for 12 degrees, and then by 2 o'clock, dress for 13 degrees. It's not going to get much warmer than that. Now, coming up, we're going to go into even more details just how cold it's going to be and how long this cold is going to stick around. But until then, back to you.
Thank you so much. Now, as Paul mentioned, it is cold, but over the weekend we experienced temperatures in the 40s, causing a lot of the snow we've been seeing to melt. So now the big concern is everything that melted is now beginning to freeze over.
Now, CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is live in our first alert weather Jeep, and last time we checked in with her, there were spots of black ice on the sides of the roads and a little bit of a dusting.
Good morning, Matt and Paige. Yes, I know those temperatures in the 40s this weekend were a great sight to see and to feel, and we saw that snow starting to melt. But the thing is, when that snow melts and then it gets cold like it was last night and this morning, everything will freeze over. And right now we are driving north towards the Indian River Inlet Bridge. We're going to show you the conditions on that bridge in a few in case you have to go over there today. So far, as I mentioned earlier, we are still seeing pretty decent road conditions, some black ice in some spots. So as always, just approach driving slowly and with caution. Right now we're going to head over the bridge, and luckily we're not seeing any ice really on the bridge, which is a good sight to see. And we're not really seeing any of that white dusting of snow either, which is also good, but there's better visibility on the bridge because there are some lights. But again, just approach it with caution. If you had to go over this bridge today, we are seeing cars out today, so definitely there's going to be one driving right by us. So people are still on the roads today, so just be cautious and be careful. And as the sun starts to come up, hopefully we will start to see some things melt, but with those cold temperatures today, probably not that likely. But Matt and Paige, as you can see right now, we are going over the bridge. We're joined by a couple of other cars, but again, just be careful and we'll keep you updated a little later on in the show. Back to you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Elisa. What was expected to be snow turned to rain in Ocean City.
Yeah, CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zapay shows us people's reaction to the weather over the weekend.
After 2 different snowstorms in Ocean City, this one luckily turned to just rain. Something Linda Klein was glad to see.
I like the rain better than the snow.
Over the past month, Delmarva has been hit hard with snow, and Ocean City was no exception. From salt being laid out on the roads, to people clearing their cars, and families enjoying the snow. But now people hope that time has passed. We talked to people along the Ocean City boardwalk who told CoastTV that they're glad the snow turned into rain, with one even saying the snow hurt her business big time. Linda Klein runs a doggy-style store on the Ocean City boardwalk. And although the store is open in the off-season, Klein said the snow and ice made it difficult for people to come in.
In the rain, people still come out. In the snow, they don't. They didn't clear the boardwalk or the inlet village, so it was dangerous for people to be out in the snow.
Klein hopes no more snow falls in town and is looking forward to the warmer days ahead.
I'm done with the snow. I'm ready for spring.
Although no snow is projected for next week, be sure to bundle up and stay warm when going outside. I'm Kevin Zapay in Ocean City, CoastTV News.
Capitol in Washington, D.C. at noon, Donald J. Trump will be inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States. It was moved inside that building out of some concern for those bitter cold conditions.
And it was last night. Those festivities in Washington, D.C. ramped up. Trump held a rally enjoying a so-called victory lap before he takes the oath of office for a second time. Trump delivering his first on-camera reaction to the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas, pledging to make good on his campaign promises, also including mass deportation.
We have to set our country on the proper course. By the time the sun sets tomorrow evening, the invasion of our borders will have come to a halt, and all the illegal border trespassers will in some form or another be on their way back home.
While Donald Trump is about to begin a second term as president, Joe Biden making news in the final days of his presidency.
Yeah, he's issued a large number of pardons, some of these considered controversial.
Yeah, so let's take a look at some of them. In one of his last actions, Biden pardons posthumously Marcus Gray, a black nationalist in the 1920s who was convicted of mail fraud. He commuted the sentence of Robin Peoples. She is currently serving a 111-year sentence for crimes committed in the late 1990s. Court records show Peoples was convicted of bank robbery and other associated offenses.
That one that got the most attention was Biden going back on his word then by pardoning his son Hunter of federal gun and tax evasion convictions. Another controversial one, Biden commuted the 17-year prison sentence of Michael Conahan, a judge who helped orchestrate one of the worst judicial scandals in U.S. history, a scheme to send children to for-profit jails. Now, don't forget, you can tune in to the inauguration in just a few hours. You can tune in to NBC's coverage of the inauguration on Coast TV. That coverage will begin at 10 a.m.
On Tuesday, Matt Meyer will be sworn in as Delaware's 76th governor. Those events have been moved inside due to cold conditions. On your screen now are some of the events for the inauguration. Now, Meyer will be sworn in Tuesday morning at Legislative Hall in Dover. Then later that night, Meyer will appear at the inaugural ball at 7 p.m. in Wilmington. That's at the Grand Opera House.
Happening now, officials will continue investigating after first responders helped a car down from an electric pole. You can see right there on your screen. According to the Georgetown Fire Company, the crash happened around 11 p.m. Saturday at the intersection of Zoar Road and Governor Stockley Road. The agency says Delaware Cooperative helped make sure everything was de-energized before those crews could safely remove the car.
We've got a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Still coming up this morning, TikTok services survived a temporary ban. How the future is still uncertain, however, for the social media platform.
Also, run, Eagle, run. Saquon Barkley helps send the Eagles to another NFC Championship game.
But first, today, the nation honors Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're going to tell you just how impactful his I Have a Dream speech still is in America. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Ride the wave of Delmarva's coastal charm with Coast Life. Explore local treasures, fresh trends, and unforgettable stories from our coastal communities. Join the adventure with Coast Life, weekdays at 4 on Coast TV.
Find your next job at the Delmarva Job Fair, sponsored by the Stokely Center and the Maryland Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services. Join us Saturday, February 1st from 10 to 2 at Delaware Tech in Georgetown. Employers in healthcare, construction, retail, and more. Plus, the Delaware Department of Labor will also be on site for resume tips and advice to help you stand out. Take the next step in your career at this one-day hiring event. Learn more at WBOCevents.com.
The hammers are smashing, the glasses are raising, and the fun times await at Bushel Sports Bar and Grill in Lewis. Explore our selection of off-season entrees and mouth-watering signature sandwiches that are sure to satisfy any palate. Relax and enjoy local craft brews and specialty cocktails watching your favorite sports team, or compete with your friends at some 8-ball. And indulge yourself with year-round all-you-can-eat crabs served by the bucketful and seasoned to perfection. For good vibes with a friendly atmosphere, visit Bushel's on Coastal Highway today.
Taylor Swift, she is just at the peak of all her powers right now.
How has she been able to change the game with her fan base, with her music?
That's a Taylor Swift effect.
The Swift Effect, Episode 1, Breaking the Mold. Saturday, January 25th at noon on Coast TV. Sponsored locally on Coast TV by Pohanka Kia. Shop online at pohankakiamd.com.
Delmarva's hit music station, 102.5 WBOC.
Get the Coast TV First Alert Weather app with live satellite and radar, severe weather alerts, and extended forecast. Download the free Coast TV First Alert Weather app, sponsored by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
The cold is the big story as far as the forecast is concerned for the next couple of days in a row. In fact, today is probably the most manageable amount of cold that we'll deal with. Tomorrow, not so much, and Wednesday, definitely not the case. But let's talk about the here and now. Right here and now, we're at 23 degrees. Rehoboth, 24. Bethany Beach, as well as Ocean Pines, 2 degrees warmer than that in Ocean City. We're at 24 degrees right now in Delmar. It's 22 currently for us actually in Seaford. It feels like teens right now. It feels like 17 in Rehoboth. It feels like 18 in Milton. It feels like 16 degrees at Bethany Beach. And it feels all of 15 degrees right now in Ocean City. Now, our checklist for today, ice scraper, hats and gloves, drive with caution, warm beverage, and sunglasses, because it's going to be bright. Won't be warm, but it will be bright. Now, we'll have more on your full forecast coming up in a moment. Till then, back to you.
I have a dream today.
We're honored honoring civil rights activist, minister, and Nobel Peace Prize recipient Martin Luther King Jr. He delivered his iconic I Have a Dream speech in D.C. on August 28, 1963. It became a big movement in the civil rights movement in the United States. The speech clearly capturing the struggle for freedom and equality faced by African Americans in the country, while at the same time conveying King's infectious hope for the future.
And happening today, the Food Bank of Delaware in Milford is holding a Martin Luther King Jr. event at 10:30 this morning. Volunteers will be working to help pack meal kits. More than 8,000 children receive these meal kits each week, and the kits are given out to more than 180 schools, child cares, and preschools each week.
Right now, we are under a cold weather advisory that's in effect for Sussex. That'll stay in effect until Wednesday. Yeah, it's so cold, we have an actual advisory telling us it's just that cold. You don't want to miss your full forecast.
For 150 years, Ocean City, Maryland has been somewhere to smile about. From our beautiful beaches to our iconic boardwalk, we've been creating memories that last a lifetime, whether you're chasing the perfect wave, a hole-in-one, or a sunset stroll. Celebrate our 150th anniversary with 150 days of celebrations, special events, and deals all year long. Book now and save in 2025 at ococean.com/150. Ocean City, Maryland, somewhere to smile about.
Capture your favorite moments at the CoastTV photo booth. Strike a pose and snap a pic, all for free. View previous pictures and see the next event at coasttv.com under the Features tab. The CoastTV photo booth, sponsored by Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Coverage on the road, along the coast, live on the street, day or night. From breaking news to weather in your town, the IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep.
Stay tuned to get a free automatic toilet bowl cleaner from Mermaid. Your sink stopper's broken, and fixing a drain is a pain. Introducing Mermaid Drain Magic, the instant solution to most broken drains. Just remove and replace. In seconds, you can fill and drain with a simple press of a button. Drain Magic makes replacing your old, broken, rusty, even missing sink stoppers fast and easy. Drain Magic's anti-clogging basket helps prevent clogs in your sink, catching hair, food, even jewelry. Made with brass and chrome and a silicone gasket, it creates a watertight seal. Order your Mermaid Drain Magic today for only $19.99 and get a Mermaid Toilet Bowl Cleaner absolutely free. Drop it in the tank for up to 3 months of cleaning. But wait, this could be your last chance to get Drain Magic at this low price with free Toilet Bowl Cleaner. There's a strict limit of 3, so order now.
Call 1-800-944-6857 or visit GetDrainMagic.com. So call 1-800-944-6857 or visit GetDrainMagic.com now.
Time is now 5:42 on your Monday morning. We're going to take a live look right now at Dover. Looking pretty good there, Paul, and I think good news this morning is the roads, for the most part, look pretty good.
And I think we kind of got away with a good one, to be quite honest, because we really didn't need more snow to complicate matters any more than what it is, because the cold air by itself is enough, let alone the Arctic air on top of some additional snow. So fortunately, we didn't have to deal with much in the way of snow. Our Rehoboth Beach camera and Boardwalk Plaza, we're at 23 degrees. As you take a look at the temperatures right now, you see this is what's happening. We have serious Arctic air that's filtering its way towards us. So, you know, this is shades of what's on the way. For example, Harrisburg at 6 degrees and Winchester at 18. We're over here at 25 and 24 respectfully, even though this is well below the norm for this time of the year, because we're not going to see much movement from where we are right now. A little more detailed analysis of what's happening with the temperatures. We're at 24 degrees, not only in Salisbury, but also in Delmar, 22 in Seaford, as well as Redden, 23 Rehoboth Beach. So we do have gale wind warnings that's in effect for us. We have some serious gusty winds along the Delmarva Peninsula, but everything's about what's on the way, on the horizon, moving in our direction, because that Arctic air is going to be a game changer. By the way, in light of the inaugural day, we're looking at 23 degrees, lots of sunshine, but it's going to continue to feel like 9 degrees. And this is going to be the coldest it's been since Reagan was actually sworn in, which was actually in 1985, which was 7 degrees. Focusing a little bit more on what we are anticipating for today. Listen, we're looking for temperatures staying in the 20s, 29 for us for the high. For the high. Doesn't that sound odd to say that? 29. I mean, sometimes I don't want to just skip over things and make it real casual, because this is not casual stuff. This is really cold weather. I mean, even as we go over toward, let's say, Easton and Cambridge, we're looking at 27 and 28 degrees for the high. somebody left the door open and forgot to cut on the heat outside. So whoever you are that's responsible for that, please light the light the pilot light for us, okay? Then we take a look at what it's going to feel like. Now, this is the combination of the temperatures and the winds. It's going to feel like the teens, and then we're going to drop to single digits on Tuesday. And then we're going to have single digits again on Wednesday morning. So for the next couple of mornings, bundle up in layers. You will need it, because it's that kind of frigid air that's going to be dangerously cold for us Tuesday, Wednesday, going into Thursday, as high pressure stays in full control of our weather. So with that being the case, I have to talk about the possibility of frostbite risk. We have a moderate risk for us on Tuesday and a close to a high risk on Wednesday, okay? And then we go back to a moderate risk on Thursday, and we kind of come out of the cellar by then. But I need you to be very mindful if you work outside, particularly Tuesday, but specifically and realistically and seriously on Wednesday. I need you to not be exposed to that cold for an extended period of time. Winds pushing out of the northwest. In the teens we go by late tonight. And then we wake up to cloudy skies, but still in the teens for Tuesday. And we're going to stay, in the teens to 20s from that particular point. We may see a flicker of a flurry or two, but you know what? I don't even care about the flurries, okay? I'm really concerned about the cold. Although we do have a decent chance of perhaps even a little bit of snow trying to hit us late Tuesday night going to Wednesday. But once again, slight accumulation is possible, but that's not my big emphasis. My emphasis is really on what's happening for today and for tonight. We drop down to 12 degrees, very cold, very clear. And then for Tuesday, watching out for scattered showers. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 23 for the high on Tuesday, 21 for the high on Wednesday. Then we drop down to 8 degrees. This has stayed constant. So that cold, I don't think we're going to shake that off until we get to, let's say, the weekend, and then we'll finally be able to breathe without, icicles coming out of our hat.
All right, thanks, Paul. In their opening round playoff win against the Packers, the Eagles defense created 4 turnovers. The ball-hawking Birds picked off Green Bay quarterback Jordan Love 3 times, and that type of play would be asked again in Sunday's divisional round game against the Rams. We go to the first quarter. Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback, gets the party started right, gets it started quickly. Hurts down the sideline, 44 yards for the score, and the Birds open with a lead after the Rams went up 7-6. Here is Saquon Barkley. He's from Penn State, Paige.
I know.
52 yards on a bolt of lightning, and it's 13-7 Eagles. And then here's the one that was the game winner. Barkley, look at that Penn Stater go. 205 yards rushing on the day for Barkley. 2 touchdowns. The Eagles win 28-22 and will host Washington next Sunday in the NFC Championship game. Now, closing out Sunday night, the Ravens attempting to reach the AFC Championship game for the second season in a row in a rematch with the Chiefs. Pressure on here with Washington winning on Saturday. We just saw the Eagles win. This is to keep the dream alive of a Delmarva-themed Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson looking to break out of a postseason slump. This one did not start well. Second quarter, Jackson can't handle the snap, then fumbles. Von Miller scoops, and he is off. 39 yards the other way would set up a touchdown, and the Bills go up 14-7. 98 seconds to go in the game. Ravens trailing 27-19. Jackson with time fires, and how do you do, Isaiah Likely? A 2-point conversion would tie it. The play is here, but Mark Andrews drops the pass. The Bills win 27-25. They will face the Chiefs for the AFC Championship. The Ravens will face another offseason of disappointment and what could have been. Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network, the Salisbury Stakes take on Arsenal in soccer. Then tune in for a recap of the night's action on the final score. On the DSN Plus app, you get that Salisbury Stakes soccer match. And then we also have your DSN Plus exclusives, 12:30, Sussex Tech against Cesar Rodney. That's in boys basketball at 5. More boys hoops between McCain and Delaware Military Academy.
All right, well, TikTok is back, kind of, after a weekend outage. Its future remains uncertain, though. A law banning it still is in effect, but President-elect Donald Trump says he plans to issue an executive order today to delay that ban. Analysts say technology companies that support TikTok now could be taking a risk. The law says companies that violate the ban could face up to a $5,000 fine per user. However, Trump's actions around TikTok could face court challenges. Stephen King says the Oscars should be canceled in light of the LA County wildfires. In a social media post, he said, quote, No glitz with Los Angeles on fire. The Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences extended Oscars voting and rescheduled the nomination announcement in light of those fires. Those who want the ceremonies to go on as planned say it could provide positivity during a difficult time.
Movie news now. We have David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Watch it, come on! Get out of there! There we go.
Unstoppable was a very physical film for Jarrell Jerome, who plays Anthony Robles, a wrestler born with only one leg.
I always thought the wrestling would be the hardest part for me, but I had the best coach and the best mentor. So a lot of that I wouldn't say was easy, but it was, you know what, screw it. I'll say it's easy. You made it easy. He made it much easier for me to learn and to adapt to those styles.
Jerome says the toughest part was looking as adept on crutches as someone who'd used them his entire life. Unstoppable is now streaming on Prime Video.
The great Herb Maguire, coming all the way out there without your roadies. Which brings me up to the thorny issue of payment.
Where will the audience be? You said there'd be 100.
I said less than 100.
Is it just you?
Yeah.
Tim Key plays a lottery winner living alone on a remote island who tries to reunite his favorite musicians for a private show in The Ballad of Wallace Island. Tom Basden and Carey Mulligan play the former bandmates and lovers who warily re-team for the gig. The Ballad of Wallace Island premieres at the Sundance Film Festival Saturday and opens in theaters March 28th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Up next on Coast TV News today, winter health worries. We'll tell you what one doctor recommends to stay safe and warm as temperatures continue to drop.
And with that drop in temperatures, we're looking at the wind chill staying in the single digits to teens throughout today and for tomorrow. More on your extended forecast coming up.
I've needed a new left hip for about 15 years. The last 2 cortisone shots I got were bone on bone, and they didn't last 6 months. They lasted maybe a month. I was in a lot of pain. The staff at the Joint Surgery Center at Atlantic General Hospital were incredibly helpful. I was back to work 2 days short of a month, which I found amazing. You learn to trust people when you get good care.
Start your journey to relief today. Atlantic General Hospital, expert care every day.
This is the revolutionary socket fan by Bell & Howell. The amazing 2-in-1 ceiling fan and light. If you can screw in a light bulb, you can hang the socket fan light. Socket fan comes with this handy remote. You can control the light and the breeze that you need. Socket fan fits any standard light socket. You can do it yourself in less than 10 seconds.
And now, the socket fan lights with deep socket extender is yours for $49.95 with free shipping. Order now, and you can get a second fan for 50% off.
Get cool fast with Socket Fan.
How many times have you tried to clean a stubborn mess but end up with no success? What you need is the all-new waterproof Ruby Horsepower, the new cordless and rechargeable power scrubber that cleans faster and easier, guaranteed. Watch, baked on oven grease is no match. It blasts away dirt and grime in no time. The power comes from our rotating brushes, spinning at 350 RPM. The incredible torque fights calcium, mildew, mold, and more. Take it in the kitchen, where it busts through caked-on crud, or outside and tackle tough tasks with ease. Get your Ruby Horsepower with 4 additional attachments, all for just $39.99. Great news! They're in stock and ready to ship. Due to high demand, only 2 per order. Order now.
Call 1-800-455-0217. That's 1-800-455-0217 or visit horsepowerscrubber.com. So call 1-800-455-0217 now.
Camp Rehoboth Chorus celebrates their 15th season, performing on Broadway on Valentine's Day weekend. Featuring the best of Broadway show tunes and musicals, this concert features hits from Mamma Mia, Hair, Jersey Boys, and Hello, Dolly. Performances are February 14th and 15th at 7 p.m. and Sunday matinee on February 16th at 3 p.m. at Epworth United Methodist Church in Rehoboth Beach. Tickets are $30 and $15 for students. Available at camprehoboth.org. Sponsored by CoastTV.
We're experiencing more bone-chilling temperatures, and experts are urging you to stay safe. When it's cold, your body loses heat more quickly than it can be produced, and that can lead to dangerous health problems. Mandy Gaither shows us tips from an emergency medicine doctor on how to keep your family safe throughout the winter.
When the temperatures fall, the danger rises.
Any amount of time spent on the cold, you're at risk for hypothermia.
Dr. Andrew Hill with Cleveland Clinic says winter weather can be dangerous for everyone. To stay safe, layer clothing. Wear moisture-wicking clothing underneath made of wool or synthetic material. Avoid cotton. He says that will hold the moisture in. Then wear water and wind repellent shells over top.
It's one thing to have cold weather, an entirely different thing to have rain, snow that melts on your clothes, and especially to be in the wind. Those are just going to drop your core body temperature really quickly.
Certain extremities are most at risk for frost nip and frostbite, including your nose, ears, toes, cheeks, chin, and fingers.
Having some good warm insulated gloves, hat that covers your ears, a couple layers of socks maybe, all those are going to really protect you from the elements.
Hill says to also watch out for red flags. First signs of frostbite may be redness or pain on the body. He says to get inside, remove wet clothing, and soak the areas in warm water. But if you're noticing the skin is turning a dusky gray or blue or is blistering, seek emergency medical attention. As for hypothermia, signs in adults include shivering, exhaustion, confusion, fumbling hands, memory loss, slurred speech, and drowsiness.
We really need to prioritize getting to the ER immediately so we can resuscitate them.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Hill says in winter weather, it is important to keep a close eye on the most vulnerable, young children, older adults, even pets. He says to make sure they have a warm place and that they're doing what needs to be done to stay safe. It's 5:55 now, and time to check in with our Coastal Pet of the Day. And today's Coastal Pet of the Day is a 15-year-old dachshund named Ellie Belly Apple Pie. That's the full name, folks. She's a sweetheart with a big bark. And this sweet treat was submitted to us by Juliet and Greg in Delmar. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us your photos. Tell us what makes them so special. And you can do that by looking at your screen and scanning that QR code at the top. And that way you can get your friends to us here at Coast TV News. And then you can watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. 5:56 now. We've got a quick look on your forecast before you head out the door. And cold, Paul, you mentioned dangerous cold earlier.
I really did. And one quick other health note behind that story. And when you come in from outside, don't put hot water on your hands. You'll actually burn your hands as a result of that. That's too much shocking temperature change with your skin. All right, so temperatures will be in the 20s for the next 12 hours or so. We're looking for temperatures to stay in the 20s. Look at the winds picking up momentum out of the northwest at about 13 to 15 miles per hour. Hence, we're going to feel like single digits pretty much all day long. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. Sponsored by the law offices of Brockstedt, Mondellis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. We are going to stay big time cold, particularly Tuesday and Wednesday morning going to Thursday morning. So bundle up in layers, stay dry, and if at all possible, how about you just stay inside, Matt?
Sounds like a great plan. All right, coming up in our next hour, the return of dawn, the day ahead for the inauguration of the nation's 47th president. That and more when Coast TV News Today returns.